Hey everyone, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Keisha, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I hope to read in the month of January. I cannot believe we are in 2022. Like, it does not seem real. 2021 went by so fast. Wasn't the greatest year, but hopefully that just means this year will be better. As always, with the first month in the year, there are so many books that I want to get to. Will I get to them all? Who knows? Last year, I read, I think, like 17 books in January. I don't really think that's feasible this year, but we'll see. I could read more or less of all these books on my list, but without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into it. I do have a couple of arcs that I need to get to before these books come out, and one of those is Ripped Away by Shirley Riva Vernick. The author so kindly sent me this book and asked me if I would review it for her, and this book comes out on February 8th, so I definitely need to get to this one in January. I know that this is a middle grade book, and it follows Abe Perlman and Mitzi, and Abe and Mitzi get thrown back in time. This fortune teller has told Abe that he is meant to save someone's life, and he and his crush, Mitzi, get thrown back in time to Victorian London, where they are kind of in the middle of the Jack the Ripper spree. So to get back home, they'll have to work together to figure out how the fortune teller's prophecy is connected to one of history's most notorious criminal cases. And they'll also have to survive the outpouring of hate towards Jewish refugees that the Ripper murders triggered. So this sounds really interesting. It is a shorter book, and I believe this may be her debut. So I'm really excited to check out this author and see if this is a good one that I can recommend to you guys. The next arc that I need to get to is Finlay Donovan Knocks Him Dead by El Cazimano. I read Finlay Donovan is Killing It last year, and I thought it was a great book. It is a great lighter murder mystery book. It has lots of humor in it. I think it's a really fun one, and I think most people would enjoy it. I am going to be buddy reading this one with my friend Lauren from Lauren Love Reads. We both loved the first book, and we're so excited to have arcs of the second book that we can read together before this one comes out in February. And I'm not exactly sure when in February this comes out. I can't remember, but either way, we're hoping to get to this one this month. If you don't know what this book is about, it's essentially about this woman named Finlay Donovan, and she is a recently divorced single mom of two. She's kind of having a hard time, and she is also an author, and she is writing a new book, and she's meeting with her agent in a local Panera Bread, and they are talking about her new crime thriller, I think, and this woman at another table overhears them talking and mistakes Finlay for a hit woman. So she drops some cash in her diaper bag and basically asks her, hey, can you take care of this man for me? Can you go kill him? Finlay's not a killer, and she is completely floored by this thought that this woman has of her, and things kind of get crazy from there. This does have kind of a Thelma Louise feel to it for me, and I love that so much. So I'm really excited to get to this one, and I hope it's just as good as the first one. The next book on my list is one that I'm so excited about. It's probably my most anticipated read for January, and that is A History of Wild Places by Shay Earnshaw. This book came out back in December, but I got it for Christmas, so I wasn't able to start it any sooner. And I'm so excited to get to this one because I've heard such good things, and you guys may know that Shay Earnshaw is an author that I love. I have read The Wicked Deep and Winterwood by her, and I really enjoyed those. She hasn't been a 5-star read for me yet, but I will say this may be a 5-star prediction. I'm really hoping that I love it. I love Shay Earnshaw's writing. It's very immersive, and I've heard that this story is kind of reminiscent of The Village, the movie, if you've ever seen that one. The inside the dust jacket says, this is a story about fairy tales, our fear of the dark, and losing yourself within the wilderness of your mind. That just sounds so good to me. I know there's missing people. There's this reclusive community that was founded. It's called Pastoral, and it's these people, I think, that kind of seclude themselves from society, and somebody goes missing there, and then other people go missing there, and they're trying to figure out the secrets of Pastoral. I don't know. It sounds very much like The Village. That is right up my alley, and I'm also going to be buddy reading this with my friend Liv from Liv's Library and Elizabeth from Ponytails and Paperbacks, and we are all so excited to read this because Lauren has already read it, and Lauren loved it, and I just feel like I'm going to love it too because I love Shay Earnshaw's writing. The next book I have is also another buddy read, and that is going to be Green Glass House by Kate Milford. I'm buddy reading this with my friend Elizabeth, and I'm really excited to get to this one. I did start this last year or the year before, and I got about this far, but I ended up having to put it down. I think I was going into a reading slump at no fault of the books, but sometimes I just get in those moods where I put a book down and then I've put it down for a little while and I don't want to pick it back up because I feel like I won't enjoy it as much coming back into it later. So I do want to start this one over and read this because I've heard so many good things about it. It's essentially a middle grade mystery set during the wintertime at this hotel. And 12-year-old Milo, he is the innkeeper's adopted son, and he wants to spend the holidays with his family and just relaxing. But then all of these strange people start coming into the hotel to check in, and they seem to all know each other, and there seems to be a secret that they're all trying to figure out. And yeah, so it just sounds really good. I was really enjoying it when I read it the first time around, so I'm excited to get back into this and buddy read it with Elizabeth. Another book on my list is one that I don't yet own, but it is coming in the mail, and that is Winter Magic. This is a short story collection of winter fantasy magical stories that is compiled by Abby Elphinstone. I'm reading this with my middle grade book club, the Booklights, and I'm so excited that they chose this one because we haven't read an anthology yet together, and I feel like this is going to be an interesting one to talk about, to break up the different stories, see what stories they enjoy the most, what I enjoy the most, so I'm really excited to check this one out. Then I also have Where the Drowned Girls Go by Shauna McGuire. This is the 7th book in the Wayward Children series, and I'm really excited to get to this one. The Wayward Children series is one that I just cannot stop picking up. It's a series of novellas. They're kind of like magical realism fantasy books about these children who go through these different doors into fantasy worlds where they feel like they belong. Think kind of like Narnia or Alice in Wonderland, but darker. I absolutely love these, and this book is going to follow these children that they typically go to Eleanor West School for Wayward Children, where Eleanor West has gone through these doors. She knows what it's like, and she's trying to help these kids either find their doors again and go back into these worlds, or to kind of recuperate and kind of adjust back to the real world. So she's trying to save these kids, and now there is a Whitehorn Institute that is doing things a little bit differently and not as friendly as Eleanor West's home. And one of the girls from Eleanor West's home that has been in the previous books is going to go to Whitehorn Institute. This just sounds really good. I like the synopsis, I like the setup, and I'm hoping that this is a good one. These have been like 5-star reads and 4-star reads kind of interchangeably for me, but the last couple haven't been my favorite, so I'm hoping that this is going to bump this back up to a 5-star series for me, so I'm really excited to get to this one too. Another book on my list is Brazen Be a Voice, Not an Echo by Sean Feucht. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sean Feucht, but he is somebody that I followed a lot in the past couple of years. He was a part of Bethel Music and Bethel Church for a really long time, and so I followed him there. And now he has been leading worship movements across the United States during a time of COVID where everything is shut down, where churches are closing their doors. Sean started this movement called Let Us Worship, where he did different like large worship gatherings outdoors all across the United States. He's doing one in Miami coming up, I think today. Today's New Year's Eve, so I'm pretty sure that's today. I'm filming early. And he also has done one in Washington. I watched that one. That was super impactful. He's done one in Los Angeles. So I think he's a really awesome guy. He also ran for Congress in California. He came in second though, but this is a book kind of about how God has brought him through his darkest hours. He is someone that I really look up to, especially in today's like political climate. I'm not somebody who is very into politics. I try to keep my nose out of things like that. I know it's important for me to be aware, but sometimes being aware makes me scared because of certain things that are going on in politics. But this is about as far into politics as I will get as someone who is a Christian that I know of, that I had followed before and that I admired, is now kind of delving into that a little bit. I'm really excited to hear more from Sean Feucht, and I'm excited to read this book as well to kind of see a little bit more of his backstory and how God brought him to the point that he's at today. I do have 2 other books on my list for this month, but they are going to be for a secret TBR, so I'm not going to share those with you. I do have a special vlog coming up at the end of the month, and those books will be included in there, so I'm not going to share those here because that will be a little bit of a spoiler, but I'm really excited to share that with you. But for right now, this is all of the books that I plan on reading in the month of January. Hopefully I will be able to get to them all. Hopefully I'll be able to read more than this. We'll just have to see how busy the month is. But I am very excited to start this new year of reading. Let me know down in the comments what book you're most excited to read in January. And if you've read any of the books that I talked about today, let me know what you thought. I'm so excited to enter the new year with all of you guys, all of my favorite people and my bookish friends. I love you all so much, and I'm so thankful for this community. I'm ready for another year with all of you to make more friends, to read more books, to find more favorites. So thank you as always for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.